excited. We are back for our last session of today's Fam Friday. Can you believe it? Time goes by so fast when you're having fun, right? All right, y'all, we're going to get into a resume review workshop with Qualcomm. And today we have Judy Au, who is a talent acquisition specialist associate on the Qualcomm campus recruiting team, y'all. Please welcome Judy with all the emojis. You know what to do. All the love in the chat. Thank you so much, Judy.
Thank you, Michelle. So I am going to share my screen with you all today. Just give me 1 minute to set that up. Let's see here. Okay, I'm super excited to be here today. I am sharing my screen and I only have one screen, so I will not be able to see any chats. So we will have a Q&A session at the end. Before we get started, I do want you to scan this QR code and complete the application that is on there. It's super important for us that you do register. We will have this QR code throughout the presentation. It might be a little square in the corner on the right. So I will be moving on. Today, it will just be me. Andrew Cordisco cannot make it today, sadly, but I will be filling in his slides. So next up, still the same slide. Be sure to register on here. Once you register, recruiters and hiring managers will be able to see your application in our Eightfold system. I'll give you about 10 seconds to scan this QR code and fill in the application. I think it's been 10 seconds, not sure. It's still in that right upper corner if you didn't get a chance to scan it, but please make sure to scan it. So to start off today, I will be doing a quick introduction of myself and then resume best practices. If we have some time, we will be breaking out into breakout rooms, but I don't think we can in this format. So we'll probably skip that portion. And then we will have a closing Q&A where you can ask me any questions. So to start off, my name is Judy Au, and I am a campus recruiter for our software embedded engineering department. And I am also part of the summer programming team over the summer. So I help plan events, think of summer engagement, etc., making it really fun for our interns over the summer. And I have been with Qualcomm for about 5 years now. I started as a coordinator and then slowly moved my way into campus team and have been recruiting for 2 years. I'm super excited to be here, and I hope this presentation is insightful and gets you excited to apply for our roles at Qualcomm. So resumes. What are resumes for? What do you know about them? What are the best practices, hacks you've heard about them? I did think this format would be differently, but I guess there are no audience that can actually unmute themselves. So I can't really ask you these questions, but let's make a clear distinction. Resumes are not used to get a job. They are used to get a phone screen or interview. That is the most important step. That is what resumes are used for. And then we have a quick question to ask you. How long do you think an average recruiter spend looking at one resume for the first time? I'll let you think about this. And I don't think you can add your guess in the chat, but if you can, feel free to add it in there so other people can see. I don't know if anyone guessed this correctly, but it is 15 seconds. recruiters really don't spend too much time on your resume. They really look for like key points. One main thing that I personally look for, I look for programming languages, your graduation date, relevant work or project experience. And then in the PowerPoint, we'll dive into it a bit more so we can help you create that perfect resume. So resume, there are sections to it. So let's start off with the introduction part. Just a quick disclaimer, this is our take on resume screening. So this can differ from each company and even each recruiter. But as a practice at Qualcomm for recruiters, this is what I and my other colleagues look through on resumes. So we quickly look over your summaries of experiences, whether it's academic, social, or working experiences. And then we look for the skills that you have, what projects you've done, and what you have accomplished or hoping to accomplish that is currently in progress if you haven't completed it yet. Still with the introduction part, you would want to curate your resume to the job posting. So find keywords in the job posting and incorporate it into your own resume. So in the body, you will want to take keywords from the posting to put it into your resume. This is also a very important thing to note. You want to put your resume in reverse chronological order. So you want to put most recent to oldest. I have seen this mistake a lot of times. It takes a lot of time for the recruiter to look down to up. So you want to just make it from up to down. And then another general rule of thumb, if you are a bachelor student, you want to keep your resume to 1 page only. And then if you are graduate level or higher, so if you have a master's or a PhD, it is acceptable to go up to 2 pages, but no more than 2 pages max. Some of you might have 2 pages because of publications, which is totally acceptable. You want to list those on there. You also want to ensure that it's simple and you have proofread over it. If you have spelling mistakes, grammatical errors, or poor complicated formatting, that is a red flag to us. You want it to be very easy for the recruiter to look through. Okay, so next up, this might seem very little. You might don't even know about it. I surely didn't know about it until I started recruiting. So the naming convention of your file name actually does matter. We can see how you upload that file into our system. So you really want to be sure like you're not making up words. You want to name it your first name, last name, company role that you're interviewing for, and also the month, year of your resume. So we know that it's the most up-to-date resume. And then inside your resume, the contact info is super important. This is not a common mistake, but I have seen this before. I have actually received a resume that had no contact information on there. There was no first or last name or email address. I don't know how that happened, but it can happen. And sadly, it was actually a really good resume. I totally would have wanted to interview that candidate, but I had no way of contacting them. So please don't make that mistake. Also, you want to remain true to yourself. So you would want to put your nickname or preferred name in on your resume. You can put it in quotation marks like shown right here, Tyrone, but she goes by Ronnie. So she put it in quote mark. So you can definitely do that. And then One other thing to note is that if you have special or security clearance, you will want to put that on your resume. At Qualcomm, when you look at roles, you can see if that job posting requires special clearance or not. So if you see that on the job posting you want to apply to, make sure that you do include that in your resume. It would definitely streamline that interviewing process for you. One thing, a few things that you don't want to put on your resume that is part of your contact portion. Avoid putting your physical address. We don't need that information. We just need your email address. That is enough. And then I noticed there's a trend going on with putting your photos. You don't want to put that on there. You want to eliminate potential discrimination at any company. So just don't put your photo on there. Continuing on, objective statements aren't really in anymore. We are considering it out unless it is very well crafted and you are actually switching career interests. So the only time I've seen it really work is that this person was a biology major, but went back to school to transition into computer science. That definitely helped me figure out like, oh, why do you have so much like experience in the lab not related to computer science? That's when I would say objective statements are reasonable. But most cases, you can definitely leave that out and just use that extra room for related experiences and projects. Also, if you don't already have this, definitely add a skills section that reflects the body of your resume. You want to put keywords that reflects the body of your resume. Remember that your recruiter will most likely only look at your resume for 15 seconds. It's really fast, so you want it to be eye-popping, very easy to look at. Try to avoid these generic skills that you don't need to put it on your resume. We'll most likely be able to screen you for it during the interview, like team player, good, effective oral communicator, other soft skills that will be tested during your interview. So leave that room for something else. You don't need to put that in your resume. Like expert level guacamole maker, we won't need that information. It's fun, but we won't need it. Continuing on, this is part of your education section. This is what we would like to see: degree, major if you're double majoring, minors, graduation date. Even if you don't know your actual graduation date, if you put anticipated, it will help a ton. A lot of the times I see resumes that don't put their graduation date, only putting when they started. It takes a lot of guesswork and sometimes it's not really worth it, so we will move on. So definitely put an expected graduation date, even if you are not 100% sure. And then regarding GPA, this is always like, should I put it? Should I not? If it's above 2.8 and 3.0, yeah, you can put it. It wouldn't hurt, but you also don't really need to put it. Qualcomm doesn't really look for your GPA. We just want to make sure that you are enrolled in a 4-year university program, or 4 or 2, as long as you're aiming for your bachelor's, master's, and PhD. We don't really care about your resume. I'm sorry, we don't really care about your GPA. We care about your resume. And then you will want to put relevant concentrations, relevant certifications. Please, when you are putting relevant courses, don't put your course code. We don't need that. You can also include that you are on the dean's list. That looks great. If you have any study abroad experience, that's fantastic. It shows that you are very well-rounded. Research experiences that are related to the role is definitely appreciated. Scholarships are also really good. GPA, back to that same thing, not necessary. It could it could help you, but it's okay if you don't have it on there. We don't really look for that. Continuing on the experience section, so what do you put on there exactly? So obviously, you want to put any previous internships that you have or currently in progress, internships, co-ops, if you have any related job experiences. It does say jobs on there, but I want to make it clear that like if you worked as a like sales associate or you worked at a restaurant, totally not related to the job description, I would advise taking it out. You can fill in that with projects instead. We don't really need to know that you can manage like 10 tables. That's just not really relevant in our case. And then any volunteer work is also very nice to see. It shows us that you have the respect for the community, or even volunteer experience in a lab, computer lab, or anything like that related. Research roles, also very good. If you don't have any of that, you can also pad your resume with projects, either personal or class, and then also include hackathons, technical competitions, or any presentations you had at conferences. You can include a GitHub link in there. Leadership roles are also very important. We like to see that. Teaching assistant is actually something that I typically look for because it shows that you are able to explain certain concepts to other students. So you yourself must know the concept. And also tutoring and facilitating are super good skills to have. But if you don't have that, put past internships or projects. That is also very good. And then now that you listed your experiences in the detail and responsibility section, you want to follow the STAR method. So you want to list the situation, task, action, and result. So for example, under a bulletin point, you might want to put like led strategic recruitment marketing campaigns to increase internship applications, resulting in a 20% increase year over year. So it directly shows you what the results are, what you did, and what the situation was. Next up, here are a good list of action verbs that you can include on your resume. Maybe you can take a picture of this really quickly. These are really good words to help you highlight your resume and also help you explain the situation and how you conveyed the results. So achieved, really good. Increased, launched, managed, trained, streamlined, etc. I'm not going to list all of it. That it was what I was doing, so I'm going to move on. So we can take a look at some of these sample resumes. So let's look over here. So example 1. So this is before it was edited. Responsibilities including assisting with artists' press releases, compiling tracking sheets based on information from reservations and box office attendance, handling photo and press release mailings to media, assisting in radio copywriting, and performing various other duties. So this really just lists out what they've done. It doesn't really show us results, which is really important. So this is how we would modify it and improve it. So first bullet point, sorry about that. First bullet point is wrote artist press releases that contributed to an increase in sales by 23%. So you notice the keyword is increased and contributed. And then second bullet point is compiled and maintained mailing list of 10,000, Cambridge Theatre's largest list ever. Handled press release mailings to Anchorage Daily News and Fox 4 Television. It shows you exactly what companies they work with instead of being very vague. I like that. Contributed to copywriting of promotion radio commercials for selected events. We can move on to example number 2. Before, it was just one sentence, and we can totally break it down into a longer description. So the example was worked in university housing. So what did you do exactly? So after improving it, it became 4 bulletin points. Develop team leadership skills while being a resident advisor for 20 students. Learn to motivate students to obey rules and perform well in college classes with 20% increase in GPA. Develop crisis management skills in dealing with difficult issues concerning students. Refine organizational and prioritization skills in managing a large group of diverse individuals. Sounds way better than just worked in university housing. Okay, so I did think this format was a little different. I was hoping to have you all do a live critiquing, but I don't think we have this feature. So here are some resumes. Maybe take a look and see what you think is what the mistakes are. There are a total of 13 mistakes on these 2 resumes. I'm gonna give you a few seconds to look over it, and then I will share what I think the mistakes are in the next slide. I hope you all looked at the resume. It's been more than 15 seconds, so let's move on. So I did say there were 13 mistakes. So the first one let's start with Christina Jacobs' resume. It's highlighted. She describes tasks and not achievements and impacts. She really just talked about what she did. It is lacking quantifiable results and outcomes. And then you always want to use it is in the wrong tense because it is her current role. You want to use the correct structure. And moving on to Hamdugo. First off, it's circled. There's a picture of himself. We don't want to see how you look like because it can potentially cause some biases, and we don't want that. And then overly complicated formatting. It's just a lot. It's everywhere. I don't know where to focus. It's not just like from up down. It's everywhere. And then it is unclear if it is a self nickname, and the title is just a lot. Don't need that. And then the email address is unprofessional. There's just too many pictures. It is very informally written. And then the results are also very ambiguous. If you can see in the skills section, it's like a self-rating. It's not really like, where did you get these numbers from? And then some of the job bullet points are unnecessary. And yeah, there's many ways to improve. We will skip this section. In closing, I do want to open up for Q&A. I don't know if that's possible. I'm gonna stop sharing my screen. Oh, I see some questions. Give me 1 second. So Gabriel asks, should we optimize our resumes to pass the ATS by using a lot of keywords, or should we just try to go into detail on what our projects are about? I would say a little bit of both. You definitely want to make sure that your resume is getting filtered correctly, but you don't want to bombard it where you're literally copying the whole job description. You want to make it into the experiences that you have. So, what I like to do when I prepare for interviews or even updating my resume, I look at the responsibilities on the job description and then reword it to relate to experiences that I have while taking some keywords from there. Oh, does Qualcomm hire Canadian students? So, yes, we actually do have a summer program in Canada as well. It's actually a co op program. So, I believe the internships vary from 9 to 16 months. I'm not quite sure, but they are longer internships. But if you are asking about if we hire students from Canada for our US program, yes, we do sponsor them. Are soft skills important on resumes in the tech field? As I recall in our PowerPoint, I would say not really. This is usually, we can gauge this during our interviews, so you don't really have to put these skills in your resume. Does graduation year matter? Yes. So to be eligible for our internship program, you cannot graduate before your internship ends. So, if you are applying for an internship for this upcoming summer, you cannot graduate before December 2024. Does graduating in the fall, winter put you at a disadvantage for internships? No, it does not. It will just you will just have to it sorry, it's like a hard to answer question. It's not at a disadvantage. It's more so like if you are expecting a full-time offer right after you finish your summer internship and before you graduate, there would be a delay because information gets kind of like it's a little slower process. Whereas if you were graduating in May, we have more time to figure out that offer for you. So there's just like you wouldn't know if you're getting a full-time offer immediately for after you graduate in the fall or winter. Does having a cover letter improve your chances of hearing back? I don't know if this was in the PowerPoint, but I would say cover letters are no longer in. It's not very necessary, just like objective statements, you don't really need that. How important are minors? I don't really know how to answer that question. I feel like that's a very biased answer. I don't really look at it. I mostly look at your major and if you have the skill sets to be able to do your internship. Are there any more questions? Is there a best standard in layout of resume? I would recommend having it very simple. So just top down like that. I personally like that if you are still a student that you put your university and expected graduation at the very top underneath your contact info. And then you will want to go into experiences and projects, and then skills and other information. But just don't make it where it's like columns where I have to go back and forth. I just want to look it from top down. And I believe this is the last question. Thank you everyone for participating. Let me move on to this one. So sorry, I have to, oops. This is my last slide. So remember to scan the QR code in the upper right-hand corner. It's super important. It lets us know that you attended this event. And then when we are sourcing for applicants, we will be looking at students that attended our events first. So you are at an advantage right now. And now you really want your recruiter to look at your resume. So take all the suggestions that I gave you today, edit your resume, and once you're done drafting and completed editing your resume, you're ready to apply directly on our job postings. So make sure to do all of that and apply directly. Good luck. Thank you so much for tuning in, and it was nice being your host today. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Judy. I hope, let's give Judy all the love in the emojis as well in the chat. Thank you so much for just giving all this information and being super transparent with our community. Thank you so much. Shout out to the Qualcomm team as well. So before we go, we're going to do our giveaway question. Are we ready? Okay, great. The giveaway question is, how long does the average recruiter spend looking at one resume at the first time? All right, I saw it. Hold on. Y'all move fast. Catherine Jedis. Hey girl, congrats, Catherine! Yay! The Color Stack team will be reaching out to you next week about next steps. But for now, thank you so much, Judy. Have an amazing rest of your day and hopefully an awesome weekend. And thank you so much again for spending time with Color Stack.
Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Bye. All right, y'all. You know what time it is. I don't even want to say it. I don't even want to say it, y'all. That was our last session. Should we just continue to chat? No, I'm kidding. Y'all, thank you so much for sharing the time and effort with Color Stack today at our October Fam Friday. And you know what? I think y'all got a bunch of strategies for success, okay? Now, before we leave, there's a few things I need to say. First, we have a feedback form that Caleb has pinned on the chat. So if you have like, I want to learn this next time, or I want a little more conversation with this company, please let us know in the chat. In the feedback form, because literally that is how we get to tell you exactly what you want. Let us know what you want. Don't be scared. Also, we want to thank you absolutely so much. Shout out to all the companies that were a part of our Fan Friday today. As I said at the beginning, make sure that you are tapped in. Make sure that you are all the way tapped in with Color Stack, okay? Y'all, follow their Instagram, colorstack.org, as well as tap in on LinkedIn, Color Stack. Make sure you follow me as well on Instagram, Miss Shaladana. I'll give you some time to do that. Okay, work. Please let us know. I actually want to go, before we go, I want to know, what was your favorite part of the day? Tell me what your favorite part of the day was in the chat right now before we go, please. I'd love to hear. Let's see. Those 4 hours went by fast. I know. That's what I'm saying. MasterCard, resume workshop, hearing from the awesome speakers, resume review, MasterCard, all of them, resume, MasterCard. I love the sense of community overall. This was my very first Fam Friday. That's how you know this is so real. Like, this is literally, as I said at the beginning, this is a community built for us, you know, by us, for us. And it truly is so incredible what Color Stack is doing. So make sure you tap in to everything Color Stack has to offer, because truly, 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 they are doing the work. They just want to make sure you're good and you got everything you need to get to your success, mama. Okay. Um, for us, by us, yes, FUBU, exactly. Um, okay, work. What a family, blessed to be a part. First time here after joining the fam yesterday. So I guess I will have to see you in the next Fam Friday. And you know what? Maybe in the next Fam Friday, we can match because they got merch. We could match. We could match. Also know Color Stack has merch at colorstackmerch.org. And giveaway winners will be emailed next week following the event, so you can redeem your prize. With that being said, one more time, thank you so much for being here with us. Follow Color Stack on Instagram, on LinkedIn, and follow me, Michelle Adana, your host, on Instagram. I'm based in New York City and I do shows out here. So if you're out here, come on by. Thank you so much, y'all. Great work. Have a fun weekend. Be safe. Take care. Go get your money. Go get your success. Bye.